What do you think of Crawford Canelo? There's a lot of talk about that.
I think Canelo wipes the floor with him. I love Crawford. I told you when Crawford and Spence that Crawford would beat the hell out of him, but Canelo is a different proposition.
A good little man has never beaten a good big man.
As a weakness, seeing how they match up, I think that we just overhyped Crawford, and I think Canelo is going to beat him up.
Why do you think he's overhyped?
The recent win against Spence, but it was mostly because people just hated Spence. It wasn't based on anything Terrence Crawford did.
And I mean, the performance he put on was amazing.
Was it the performance that could possibly lead to him beating somebody like Canelo, who's had multiple great performances, as opposed to one, maybe two? To be honest, he might just be a nobody if he loses, just like Errol Spence was. I kind of feel bad for him now that we set it up, but he still can cancel.
Crawford and Canelo.
I don't think that should happen. Look, I like Crawford, and I think Canelo is a beast that way. Honestly, I would advise Crawford not.
Terence Crawford wants Canelo Alvarez 3 weight classes up, one of the greatest challenges in modern boxing. After dismantling Errol Spence Jr., Crawford's confidence is sky high. But is this bold move brilliance or a ticking time bomb?
Say like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets.
How is Crawford going to be able to bridge this weight gap?
Yeah, I don't think he can, in all honesty. I mean, he might not be able to bridge it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So
one weight class.
68, yeah, but you're coming up from 35, 35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely outside.
I don't think so. I think that it's much too much weight for Terence. His style was difficult. People will say it was a poor performance from Terence, but let's just say it was a great performance from Madrimov. I think 168 is much too big for Terence. But like he said,
Canelo Alvarez isn't just any champion. He's a 4-division world title holder who's dominated at 168 lbs, fought killers like GGG, Bivol, and Kovalev.
Crawford, what do you think?
That's going to be a great fight, too. I can't believe they made that happen. Turkey's been making a lot of great fights happen. You can't really hate on it. But I'm excited for that. I know Canelo is so big, so strong, and I think he'll be just too big. I mean, weight classes matter for a reason.
Last question before you get out of here.
Listen, we can have the skills and everything, but jumping that much like that, jumping like that much, getting hit, I don't think Crawford's ever fought a fighter that's hit him directly, just straight, constantly in the arms. And it's not because they can't, they don't think that way.
Appreciate you.
Gotta clear it out, guys. Remember, this man's been pro since what, 14?
15.
Crawford, his composure going to be like the moment a punch lands on him from Canelo.
Are you kidding me? Take that question back.
Yeah, why?
Because you're talking about Crawford.
Yeah. He's the weight classes.
He's the most composed guy. What, you don't think he'll be prepared? You think it'll be a shock to him? No. He's already moved up 3 weight classes. So now you're talking 6 if you add on 3. Crawford has the ability to slow things down in the ring that very few people have, and to see things.
And walked through punches that would fold most, and now Crawford, a natural welterweight, is jumping from 147 to super middleweight. That's a 21-pound leap. Amir Khan, who once tried the same thing, is warning him, don't do it.
Kovalev was older, and he does, don't get me wrong, he does have a lot of power. But all those guys that you name is not as skillful as me. I'm sorry. No disrespect to none of those fighters. The skill level is night and day.
So how do you see a fight with Canelo going?
It's a tough fight. Canelo is a great fighter. Like, I always have respect for Canelo, but I just believe in my skills. The fact that people doubt me, it just fueled me even more.
He's got to give a lot of weight away, Crawford, but it could give Canelo a real problem now, because Canelo was getting caught.
Watching that, do you think Crawford might be, perhaps licking his lips isn't the right word?
Well, I'm sure he was. He was sitting ringside. He was sitting a couple of seats away from me ringside. You could see he liked it. No schmuck. He knows his boxing. And the other thing is, you've got to look at, what's his name? Was it Modric? What's his name? Madrimov, who he fought. Also gave him a tough fight for a guy who only had 12 fights. So it's going to be a very, very interesting fight.
A good little man has never beaten a good big man in the history of the game. unless you go back to certain situations with Pacquiao beat me, but I was a dead man walking anyway. But a good little man never beats a good big man, so it's a tough test for Crawford, but I'm not counting him out. The bottom line, and this is the truth again, it's a money grab.
Eddie Hearn says Crawford's not even a small 168. Ryan Garcia, Canelo will be too big, too strong. But then there's Teddy Atlas saying, don't count out the genius. Crawford isn't just skilled. He's special. He sees things others don't.
No Triple G on Bud's resume. There's no Trout on Bud's resume. There's no Daniel Jacobs on Bud's resume. Canelo is the one that's fought the elite level opposition. It's Canelo that fought Laura. There is no Laura on Bud's resume. There is no Laura on Bud's resume. Bud has never faced a multiple division champ. Bud has never faced a multiple division champ.
Yeah, but Bud is an elite boxer.
So you're an elite boxer, but you haven't fought a...
I'm going with Terrence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terrence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terrence Crawford against nobody right now.
Biggest question to me, how will the 12-pound difference be for Terrence Crawford? It's going to be his first fight at 168. For Canelo, this is the weight class that he always fights at, no problem. But I'm really curious on how Terrence Crawford is going to be able to adjust to this and if it's going to be advantage or a disadvantage.
He adapts. He's undefeated for a reason. Still, size matters. Just ask Charlo, who got dominated trying to do what Crawford's about to attempt.
All the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. You know, so let's not do that.
Man, it's a great fight for boxing. I know people don't agree with it, but if Canelo fights one inkling of the wrong fight, he's gonna lose. If he comes out and fights the right fight, it's gonna be a tough one. So right now, I think it's gonna be either way, but it depends on what type of fight Canelo fights.
You've been a guy that's up in weight class. How do you think Terrence Crawford should handle the weight? Should he come in lighter? Should he come right around the weight limit?
Come in as big as he can get. If you get to the weight limit, because there is a weight limit.
It's a ridiculous fight myself. I think that Crawford is too small. Canelo is, in my opinion, the face of boxing right now. I think that look at his resume. I think it's a good fight for a little while. Crawford's hand speed will, just like when Golovkin fought Kell Brook, the hand speed was evident at the beginning of the fight. But as the fight goes on, Canelo's going to start pounding on him, and I think that the fight ends somewhere between the 9th.
Is this a historic masterclass in the making, or is Bud stepping into a storm he can't weather?
I see Canelo winning, and I'm not, you know, I don't know Canelo very well. I'll say hi to him if I see him. He'll say hi to me too, but we're not friends. You know, I could probably say I've spent more time with Crawford, so I would love to see Crawford pull it off. I would be more happy to see Crawford win, you know, because I know him better.
Hit me like, oh, man, maybe he on to something. You know, then I started sizing him up, and I'm like, all right, well, Canelo 5'7", you know, my arm's longer.
Yeah.
He's strong, I'm strong.
Right.
You know, it'd be, to me, skill for skill.
Right.
You know, because Canelo not the biggest 168 fighter. So I don't gotta stop him. I just gotta beat him. I'm not going in there looking to knock Canelo out. Could it happen? Yes, absolutely. You know, when I look at Canelo, he's a smaller, bigger guy moving up in divisions. You know, being that these big guys is slower, so they might catch him with something, but he might see it at the last moment. You know, they might catch him.
I think Bud could beat Canelo.
Would you like to see that fight?
Would I like to see it? Yeah, I would like to see it. Just because I know, like, I don't think that, like I said, I've been saying this, I don't think size win fights. I think skills do. So, I don't know who else probably will listen to me, but I think, like, Bud, stylistically, now I don't think, like, yeah, I think, like being a southpaw with good movement and sharp box.
Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is Crawford biting off too much or about to shock the world? Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. This fight could redefine legacies, and you won't want to miss a moment.